Here's a question that came up, and when I was a kid, I was a young kid, and I was sick from school, and for whatever reason, I don't know what my mom was thinking, a scary movie came on. Now, she didn't prohibit me watching this movie, I just kept on watching. And as I'm watching, it put so much fear, I'll tell the movie later, so much fear in me. It was about demon possession. Now, this was a movie in the 1970s that went, today would be called viral, right? But I got scared, like seriously scared. And when I became a believer, I still had this question, and the question is this: can a believer have a demon or be demon possessed?
Well, first of all, if they want one.
Okay. Well.
No, listen, it's undeniable. When I was in Bible college, okay, there was a girl, I won't name her name, but she had a spirit of fear on her, okay? And I prayed for her. She came down to the catacombs where we witnessed downtown San Antonio. And under her testimony, she threw up. It looked like a frog, a green frog out of her mouth. And under her testimony, there was no more fear. And so the Bible calls it a spirit of fear. Okay. But God has not given us that spirit. He's given us love, power, love, and a sound mind. That's the three aspects of God. His head is his wisdom. His hand is his power. And his heart is his priesthood and love. So when it says power, that's kingship. And it says not given a spirit of fear, but of love, that's priesthood. Power, kingship. Sound mind is wisdom. Paul used those themes throughout 1 Corinthians and all the way through. You can identify these three aspects of God. To the degree you know his head, to the degree you know his hand, to the degree you know his heart. Right. That's how you'll trust him. Now let's get down to the demon business of Christians. It's undeniable that people that I know that really love the Lord, I've experienced casting demons out of them early on in my ministry, okay, and quite a way through it. In fact, I got to tell you this funny story. There was a little girl, and being in the assemblies, they don't hold to that doctrine. And I'm going to give some clarity in a minute, so don't judge what I'm saying till I'm finished. So this little girl started manifesting, and it was a home meeting. We had about 60 people in our home. So we went in the back bedroom, my wife and I and a couple of people, and she was just tearing it up, and we cast the devil out of her. So I got a call from Brother Gorman, who's now with the Lord. And he said, Brother Jonas, I just got a 5-page accusation against you that a little girl that was raised in a church, okay, that you cast the devil out of her. I want to hear your side of the story. And by the way, I appreciate that. He didn't jump to conclusions. He didn't make a decision. He wanted to hear my part. Right. I said, well, Pastor Gorman, I know that the assemblies do not believe that that can happen. And I said, I was respectful of that until it started barking and tried to bite me. And then I had to cast it out. And he goes, ha, 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 ha. So he laughed, So, but here's I'm going to bring balance to this, okay? The Lord rebuked me for casting devils out of Christians. And he said, the Lord spoke to me, you're working in behalf of the devil. And I was like, Peter, no, I've never put no unclean thing to my lip. No, I would never do that. And he brought me to the book of Exodus, where he told them to possess the land one step at a time. Okay. Why? Because if he would have destroyed all the inhabitants in that land, then the land would have been ravished by the beast. The milk would have spoiled. The honey would have been eaten. The grass would have grown up. It's like me saying, hey, would you like 1,000 pounds of shrimp being from Louisiana? Right. Oh, I got to tell you, my freezer went out 3 weeks ago. I mean, so God's method he showed me for a believer is not casting all of these things out of your life, but by resisting the devil and walking in truth, that he will flee from you. So if I have someone just arbitrarily cast out 50 demons, and I've seen it, okay? Right. Oh, spirit of fear, spirit of gluttony, and on and on and on and on. And the Lord just showed me that, look, you need to cast a devil out of a person that can't confess Christ. The first person, when Pastor Bill got saved in my living room. I didn't know nothing about demons, and he was, and I didn't know what was going on. So all I said was say the blood, and he flew one way, I flew one way. And so, yes, you cast out demons like Jesus did for unbelievers, but once they accept Jesus Christ, God begins to open doors of your heart and says, now let's deal with this, son or daughter. This is not good for you.
Well, here's another question. Could a Christian be oppressed?
Well, okay, you have three parts to you. You have a body, a soul, and a spirit. And without getting into a long dialogue about it, that's for another question.
Right.
But the reality is our body is going to be redeemed in the future.
Right.
Okay? Our soul is where the conflict is. The spirit is immediate. When you get born again, you become a new creature in your spirit man.
Right.
But you still have the conflict of your thought life, your emotions, your mind, your will is in conflict. That's where God's dealing, and that's where demons can get into Christians. But the only way they're going to get rid of them is not by somebody exorcising them. They need to exercise the fact, it's like a person that's got diabetes. Quit eating 5 cups of sugar a day.
Right.
Okay? If you have an area of your life, you need to let God deal with that area, get rid of it, and that demon will flee. Okay? Resist the devil, and he will flee from you.
Okay. Thank you.